Where's Kate, Greg? She's not on the chat.
Yeah, where's Kate?
Oh, I have to mute. Wait.
Yeah.
My sunglasses yellow.
Thank you. Subscribe to Simply Bitcoin.
Boop, boop, boop.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. It's another episode of the Meme Factory podcast. This is test stream number 43. And this evening, we are graced with the presence of Ben Perrin of BTC Sessions. Ben, welcome, man. Can you introduce yourself to any of the troglodytes who might not know who you are?
I'm super happy to be here. I tweeted out that this was going to be my most prestigious media appearance of my career. So I'm honored and humbled to be here amongst everybody. I think, again, I think it's probably, this is where I peak. It's all downhill from here. But I'm glad to be a part of this. I'm going to try and soak it all in. I've got my whiskey ready. I guess if people are watching that don't have a clue who I am and why everybody has such great hair tonight, I do a YouTube channel called BTC Sessions. I've been doing it since 2016, and it's basically a ton of tutorials, like step-by-step walkthroughs of everything Bitcoin, and specifically just Bitcoin. And then I do a news show on Thursdays, and then every Friday I do Why Are We Bullish, where people just come with their reasons for being bullish and what they're excited about. And I've been doing that for a couple of years too. So yeah, that's me.
Have you had everybody here on Why Are We Bullish yet?
No, I haven't had Labra, and I haven't had Rusty, and I haven't had Pedro.
Okay.
How dare you?
We need to fix those things. Now,
we do need to fix.
You're an established YouTube channel, and you recently crossed 69,000 followers, which is very nice.
Congrats.
Yes, I do not want to, like, I don't want to get past, like, I don't want 69 to end. So, don't subscribe. Do not subscribe. Leave it where it is. Just watch the videos. Don't subscribe though.
All right. Yeah. And as far as your videos go, I have a really bad habit of anytime anybody asks me something remotely technical about Bitcoin, I just tag you. I don't even.
I've noticed that actually. just tag. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
So what do you think? What wallet do you think is better, Greg? I just tag you. Job done.
I get those notifications as I'm like busy making videos. I'm like, what is good? Yeah.
It's making me do my work.
As I'm like pulling up links. Yeah.
So, you've been in the space long enough now that your established channel with your 69,000 followers are, you probably generate a bunch of ad revenue, and we don't. So part of the way we compensate for that is that our sponsors ask us to have the guests read the ad.
That's the only difference we have with
That's
Ben.
the only difference.
He had Sailor, we had Sailor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had Preston, we had Preston.
We have Labra, Pedro, and Rusty.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
I have not. Yes.
We have more windows in the stream.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I sent you the ad copy from our sponsors. Whenever you get a chance, rip through it.
Okay. All right. I'll do my best. Here we go. Hey, everybody. My name is Ben, and this episode of the Meme Factory podcast is brought to you by the new educational series I'm producing for my YouTube channel, BTC Sessions. It's called Advanced Shitcoiner Dunking for New Bitcoin Maximalists. The art of the shitcoiner dunk has a storied and rich history in the annals of Twitter and has been perfected by a rarefied few. In this series, we will break down some of Bitcoin Twitter's best shitcoiner dunks and why everything is basketball. As a new toxic maximalist on Bitcoin Twitter, you will need to be able to use such tools as tweet stamping, using the Remind Me Later bot, tagging Inverse Bra, and where to find the Greg Zaj 1, RDBTC, and Rabenstein GIF repositories. If you follow the series from start to finish, you will be able to execute combination dunks like timestamping a bad shitcoin take, using the Remind Me Later bot to set up a future dunk and then collecting on that promise with the appropriate gift paired to a small ting ping. With a few hours of watch time, you'll have all the necessary skills to keep the receipts and hit those shitcoiners where it hurts most with the truth. Now enjoy this test stream of the Meme Factory podcast.
Wow.
Yay.
I can't
Thank
wait to
you.
watch that series.
it's
I'm so
exciting.
excited.
It's a turning point in my career, I think.
I know. I remember from your videos, you're such
you
a
remember?
polished. Do you remember? You know, before we get into the videos, I got a bone to pick with you, and it's the only reason I brought you on this evening.
Okay, good.
You were very mean to me in Miami.
Where?
And for those of you
Oh
who
my
don't know
God.
what I'm talking about, Sean, if you don't mind, could you bring up the offending piece here? There we go. Somebody
George.
named Ben took that picture of me.
And
It's not very flattering, and just tweeted it right out.
If you zoom in, it's not actually like a bald spot. It's actually like potato skin.
It is,
It's a
yeah.
potato. Yeah.
And you know, I wanted you to explain your toxicity here and what you think it accomplishes for the space.
I mean, I was realistically, I just wanted to shout across the restaurant and say hello, but I figured that it was most efficient to take that compromising photo, tweet it out, send it to everyone except you,
Yep.
let it circulate a little bit on Twitter first, and then send it to you afterwards so that you would know I was in the same place as you. It worked.
It did.
I did come over and say hello.
You did.
So, mission accomplished, I suppose.
That was, I think, the same night Nick Can't Mine came and was going to have dinner with us, but decided he couldn't. So the rest of the night we were calling him Nick Can't Dine. That was.
I'm extremely with Craig in this. And like, guys, the toxicity is too much in the space right now. Like, you gotta calm down, guys. Okay, calm down. Be positive. I write essays and stop. Hello.
Yellow, do you want a steak sandwich? Nick?
Nick.
Bitcoin's not steak, okay? It's not steak dinners or sandwiches.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
No.
tedious beefsteaks.
All right, so that night in Miami, I took a page out of Ben's book. It worked so flawlessly to get my attention and make me laugh that later on that evening, I took the exact same tactic. I took a picture of Surfer Jim. We were having drinks with him, and I tweeted out that for any Bitcoiner that wanted to stop by, Jim was paying the tab. And I sent it to everybody but Jim. But yeah, that was a fun night as well. Thank you for the idea.
That's great. I love Jim. Jim's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So you've been talking recently about shrinkflation, and you had a very good example with a Snickers bar that I hadn't heard, and I love Snickers bars. So I was hoping you might be able to tell me a little bit about shrinkflation using that metric.
Yeah, I thought you were maybe going somewhere else with this, but
No.
we'll see. I can't really take credit for this because this was in a book called "This Book Will Save You Time," and was that
Murad?
I want to say that's Murad's book.
Yeah.
But anyways, he details kind of like the cost and the size of a Snickers bar, specifically in the UK, over a period of years. And I there you go. Yeah. This book will save you time. Yeah. And I don't remember the exact figures that he quotes, but it was, I'll ballpark it. But more or less, it's a very short period of time. I think it's a decade to maybe 15 years, something like that. And the price of a Snickers bar and the number of grams in a Snicker bar. And it goes from like $1 for a Snickers bar that is like twice the size to a couple dollars, and actually pounds, I guess, for a Snickers bar that's almost half the size in a period of like a decade or slightly more. And so it was a commentary on the sneaky ways in which you don't even realize that inflation is happening to you. And a lot of people point to it and they'll point the blame at the companies producing the product. The problem with that analysis of it is they're simply responding to the debasement of the money and trying to have a competitive edge because they've got a few choices there. One is they can keep the product exactly the same quality and same size and increase prices. However, when you have a shelf full of competitors doing the next steps, then you're not going to be competitive because step 2 is to deceptively shrink the packaging in some way, shape, or form, and then reduce the price along with it or keep the price relatively the same along with it. And so when you're looking at the shelf and you see a big offender of this is like cereal boxes, which I don't do boxed cereal, but like the front facing package is exactly the same, but they can shrink from front to back so they can reduce the size and put less in the bag.
I need to interject here.
Yeah.
Sorry, because you piqued my interest. You said you don't do boxed cereal.
Yes.
Is there a type of cereal you do that is not boxed?
Free range.
Free range.
I do. I do have
pasture raised.
Greg said doo-doo, by the way.
Grass-fed.
Grass-fed,
what I was gonna
grass-finished
comment.
cereal. Doo-doo.
I do have now I'm at a loss for what it's even called.
Doo-doo butter.
Yes, doo-doo butter. No. God, what's it called?
Kelly's doo-doo.
Like the oats, like oats where you put it in and you like you put water in.
Granola.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I'll have that.
Chia seeds.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Fucking hell.
Oh wow.
Man,
Why
it
in the
has
hell?
oats in it and water.
Has oats. Yeah, I fucking okay. Yeah. So, anyways,
Doesn't
I'll
come
have
in a
that.
box, though.
You do
But
like
that's
a
about
meal.
it. Yeah. I might put like a little bit of honey in it, but it's yeah. But yeah, so the box cereal, more or less, they can shrink the packaging in a number of deceptive ways. So if you're say a cereal company and you've got basically all these boxes that look exactly the same and you package differently, or it's rather you leave your product the exact same quality and size in how much cereal you're putting in the box, and everybody else has deceptively shrunk their packaging or changed the quality of it, then people are going to look at the sticker price of everything and probably pick the cheaper package. And so, it's again, companies responding to inflation by changing their product in a way that allows them to keep prices relatively constant. And if they don't do this, if they don't have this behavior, then they're going to get screwed in the market because every other competitor is doing it.
So they do it.
They do it.
Cool. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't let Pedro lay into a few questions he's been dying to ask you about this node build, and he's our resident hardware expert.
All right, Greg.
Okay.
Oh, fuck you, Greg. Of course, you're like well known for doing your node guides, and I think you usually do the stacks that are like pre-built. I'm just curious if you've spent any time looking at or playing with the one that Katan's guide that he's got set up.
Are you talking about the Raspberry Blitz?
Oh, I'm talking about he did a guide recently on the AMD 64 setup where it's like his own stack.
Oh no, I haven't. And so I would say a lot of the tutorials I've done thus far, and maybe I've started to blur those lines, but initially I was kind of averse to doing more complex things because I was worried that people were going to be too, I don't know, standoffish to dive into those more complex topics. But as I've kind of seen, that hasn't necessarily been the case. I would honestly have to learn probably from Catan to be able to have that level of expertise. Like, I don't know how deep he kind of went into that, but Yeah, no, I haven't done that yet myself. I think my next node related tutorial is probably going to be Start 9. I've done some videos in relation to like, very simply linking like Bitcoin Core to Spectre. But outside of that, I haven't like built like a full stack of like, Bitcoin Core and then other applications and Lightning on top of that. I have not done that. No.
Cool. Thanks. Just curious.
Yeah, no worries, man. Maybe that's something I should do.
Maybe it's something you should do after the dunk videos.
Those will take up some time.
Yeah, that should be like an 8-part series. So
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So another.
Oh no, I got a question
Hit him.
again.
Hit him.
Well, this is just more out of curiosity than anything. So I just watched your MK Ultra, your MK4 video that you did.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Greg caught that joke. How long does it take you to film and edit a video like that? Because it was super intricate, right? You did your backup, like you did the backups, recovering the backup, rolling the 100 dice. Like, how long does that take you to do?
So, okay. So if it's a simpler tutorial, like let's say it's a basic wallet or something like that, I can knock one of those out in a day. So the process is typically like, okay, I'll have a list written on paper of what I want to cover, and I'll kind of go through that list and I'll film it all in order. And I've gotten pretty good at like fucking up a take and then just kind of rolling through it and then clipping out the fuck ups. So like when you watch a polished video like that, just know there's like probably an additional 2 hours of fuck and like shit going wrong that gets clipped out or just not even recorded in the first place. So when it comes to like that cold card one, I think comparatively to like a regular wallet video or something a little simpler, the cold card one, there was just my goal there was to do as much as possible with it and showcase as many of the features as I could. And I think I spent 2 full days and like not just like 8 hours, but like I did my normal 8 hours of the day and then like have my wife knocking on my office door being like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like well into dinner and everything. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's so many things that I need to do. So by the time I got it uploaded, it was like 2 full days, like into the night of like filming, editing. Oh shit, I forgot something. I got to go back and re-record something and put it into the edit. And then like, getting just the dumb shit, like all the show notes and prerequisite video links and all that stuff and thumbnails, which I've learned are very important today. Becca, good job. Yellow, excellent afterthought there.
Thank you.
And yeah, I don't know. Like it's so that one probably took me 2 or 3 normal days worth of work. The way I set up my week is I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to pump out a tutorial. And then like my Thursdays is the news show. That's just a single day of reading what's been going on. And then Fridays are my easy day where I just get to kind of fuck around and then have a drink with Bitcoiners at the end of the day. So that's usually what my week looks like.
Are those videos that you take a long time?
Are you
ignoring
bypassing?
Rusty,
Are
just
you
ignoring
bypassing
Rusty.
Rusty, Sean? This is
Dude,
Hi, Rusty.
I see your
Not
hand.
everything is basketball.
I see your hand, Rusty.
Oof.
Okay.
Rusty.
Yeah,
Rusty,
thanks.
if you're
Thanks, Sean.
Rusty, if
One
you're ready,
more question.
Rusty, if you're ready,
Can I ask one more
Rusty, if
question?
you're ready, you can go ahead and ask your question.
You can't.
Yes, Rusty's
I
turn.
feel like Sean's got more. To be honest,
I got
I
one
feel
more.
like he's got more.
I got one more question, and then I'm good.
Okay.
So when we make meme videos, right? Like sometimes you spend a lot of time making a meme video, and then it gets like 15 likes, and like Pedro will retweet it, and he's the only guy that'll retweet it. It's awesome. That's why it's retweet. Does that happen with you sometimes when you make like a really intricate video, and then you're like, the short one that it took me 3 hours to make was the one that that everyone liked more. Does it happen?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like when I look back, especially when I look at some of my most viewed videos, like consistently some of the most viewed ones, I guess I shouldn't complain too much, but some of those are like covering like the shit wallets, the really bad wallets. So in that sense, and those are like those shitty wallets that I cover are purposefully to it's like a I do it deceptively as a way to steer people away from those wallets. So like the bitcoin.com wallet and like blockchain wallet, I'll go in, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to show you how to use this. And then like, as I encounter the bullshit that I already know is in there, I'm like, oh, this is super shitty. You shouldn't use this. And then I'll like refer them to a bunch of other better wallets in this description. So I've done that for like all of the top wallets, but those are like some of my more viewed videos. And then I'm like, I look at, privacy videos or node videos, and those have done much better than I expected. But at the same time, I'll look at like some stupid video and I'm like, guys,
this is the one.
Yeah. Like one of my most viewed videos ever was a video on how to use Bitcoin ATMs,
Really?
which is fine. Yeah. But for like years, that single video it just got like, I think I ended up getting like hundreds of thousands of views on this one tutorial.
Did it come from any of your geographical region in particular? That's the video.
It's just that's the video that people wanted to learn about. So
Okay, guys, let's not be that toxic again. Like Rusty has to speak.
No. Labra had his hand up first.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
fuck you,
I
Rusty.
have a question. What do you think about my hair? And then I think Rusty has a question. He wants to
Well,
ask.
I was going to say something off the top of the show that I just wanted to really say that you look fantastic tonight. I appreciate when people go and they actually put some effort into their appearance. And so it's really refreshing to see on a Bitcoin podcast, somebody that takes care of themselves. So Labra, I'm glad you brought it up. I think it's an important point to make that Labra looks fantastic this evening.
Thank you and appreciate it.
Kudos,
Yeah.
Labra.
Very good.
FY, we're pumping right now.
All right.
If I
Now
might
Rusty has
have
a
a question, if I have a question. If I
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your question, Yellow? What's your question?
Okay, go ahead, man.
I was wondering, all these bloopers, do we see those bloopers on your OnlyFans? Is that where we see them?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking of doing a Sats. We need like an only Sats. I think that was a thing. That was a meme or something was going along. But we need only Sats for sure, because that would be where. And now that you say that, I should probably start collecting these. There's been many clips of me being like, motherfuck, when I like realize that I've gone through like a 5-minute segment of doing all these transactions and everything. And like, I'm recording the wrong screen and I'm like, oh my God. And like fees are at 20 sats per byte. And I'm like, motherfuck, are you fucking kidding me? Like just me screaming into the abyss. Nobody cares because
For your videos, do you ever have like a limit of like transaction fees you'll pay before you're just going to bed for the night? You're just like, fuck it, this video's not getting done tonight. Not paying 2,000 sats to get this video done.
Dude, I have had some insane. So like, I think the worst I ever had it is I did some tutorials. I want to say late 2017, and those fucking hurt. Because that's like, yeah, we had SegWit, but and nobody was using it. Yep. So like on chain was horrendous.
BCH was spamming the mempool.
Oh yeah. It was rough. But there were times in, I can't specifically remember, like 2018, 2019, like over the past few years where I'll go to do a tutorial and I'm like, I gotta spend like $10, $20 transaction fees, and I in sats, like thousands and thousands of sats per transaction. And I'm like, oh God. but at the same time, people are nice enough. They'll like, there was I remember one video. I can't remember what the tutorial was, but I was wincing as I was paying the fee. I was like, oh, that's a high fee, but I need to do this video. So I guess I'll just do it. And I kept that in the recording. And somebody after the fact went back and tipped me to cover the cost of all the fees I paid, because they're like, I felt you on this part and I appreciate it. And I was like, oh, thank you. So
You're welcome.
Okay, before we go on, I have to say something. I was informed that somebody said Bitcoin Bcast was spamming the network. That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay,
because.
No, we didn't. Stop saying that.
Roger, is it true that you're not paying your debts? I heard.
No, that's also a lie. That's also a lie.
Roger,
I'm
how
flushed
solvent
with-
is Mount Docs?
I have more money than Richard Hart and more flex than him and better clothes. And yeah, whoever said that, that's a lie. That I just wanted. And babies are dying.
Babies are dying.
Don't trust Bear.
They are.
Rusty, did you actually have another question, or did you just forget to put your hand up?
I do have another question. It's a bit more of a serious
Rusty.
one. We had hey Labra, hey boss. We had MVK on the podcast recently, and he was talking about Raspberry Pis, and
Rusty,
he
you
was
can put your hand down.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, hang on. Let me just stop asking my question so I can lower my hand. Okay. And he was kind of cringing at Raspberry Pis for nodes and the secure element, not having a secure element and being like super risky. Do you ever talk about like running nodes and wallets on unsecured kind of Raspberry Pis and stuff like that?
I mean, it's not something that I've really covered thus far. Everything's a bit of a trade-off. It also depends on how you're using your node. So like if you're just using your node as a reference point so that you're verifying your own transactions and running your own copy of the blockchain, you don't have funds actually allocated to it. So, there's a different degree of risk when you start allocating funds to, a Lightning node on top of your Raspberry Pi, or running on a Raspberry Pi. I've allocated what I'm comfortable with. I guess that's kind of everybody's own independent decision. This is also a relatively new thing, like not running a node in terms of actually being able to run infrastructure on top of it is really just within the past few years where that's become, I'd say, quote unquote, easily accessible to your average person. And so I don't know, maybe I'm about to get fucked on that. To be frank, I have no idea. We haven't been doing this in an adversarial environment for an extended period of time. At least most people haven't. So, if it's coming from NVK, I think that his concerns are valid. I think that it's good to think adversarially. I also think that NVK is one of the more adversarial thinkers in Bitcoin because, I just got my Mark IV not long ago and did that tutorial. And like he goes so far as to say, not only can you disable things like NFC and like some of the other functions of this device just by turning it off in the software, here's where you scratch away the actual circuit that enables it. So like that's the level of thinking that NVK is on. So what are the chances of somebody attacking your Raspberry Pi and taking over the funds and targeting you specifically? I don't know. But I think it's worth exploring. And maybe that's something that I've got to dive further into. Like, I'm just excited that I can even do this shit. But yeah, I think it's worth bringing up any potential threat to your corn, because corn is sacred.
Hey, Pedro, have you got your Mark IV yet?
No, I haven't. But thanks for letting everybody know, Rusty. I appreciate that.
Labra, I want to take it.
Can I use this opportunity to show Pedro my Mark IV?
Oh, please do.
Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Wait, it's right here.
Oh,
Family
Here
friendly
come-
show.
This is
Here come
YouTube.
Ben
I don't-
showing
I don't know. I
his
don't know
toys
if
like a kid.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's good for YouTube.
the
Pedro.
show and tell.
So this is a Mark IV, Pedro.
Boner alert.
I assume that you're upset that you haven't got it yet.
I
But it's
haven't. And
beautiful.
I actually, so MVK was telling us all how they were already shipping. What was that, like a fucking month ago? I still haven't gotten mine.
I've got two.
Oh, wrecked.
That's been.
Oh, that's
Why
all
are you
right.
doing
Greg still hasn't sent me my other hardware wallet. So
Well,
I'm
it's
good.
coming with extra gifts. That's
I got to give a shout out to two people on this. This is the case for it that I got. I got a bunch, but I particularly like this one. This one is, first of all, printed by Crypto Cloaks. Rick is a fucking boss. I
Yes.
love everything that he makes. But the design was done by Madex, aka Spacebull on Twitter. And he did a bunch of stuff for Bull Bitcoin as well. And he's super awesome. So anyways, I just wanted to give them both a shout out because they're awesome.
Oh, yeah. Labra.
You're muted, Greg.
You're muted, Greg.
Cannot hear
Mute
you.
button,
Greg, you're
you
on
press
mute.
it, and then you can talk.
Greg, you're muted.
Thanks.
Greg.
Greg, please
Greg,
update
have
your
you check
grinder.
your-
Speak now.
Try
Yeah.
raising your hand, Greg. Just try
Did,
raising
did
your
anybody
hand.
tell?
Raise
Can
your
somebody
hand.
message Greg and tell him that he's muted?
Yeah,
The
the
problem is
flow,
he
muted.
didn't
the,
raise his
Greg.
hand.
the flow
Raise your
of the
hand
show is
and,
ruined, Greg.
I'm gonna put it in the
Update your-
private
make
chat
sure the
right
grinder
now.
is updated.
The
Like
flow is
Greg,
ruined, you
test
potato.
You're muted. Great. I think he's got
You're
it.
on mute.
Oh, yeah. I think Ben just messaged.
Fuck all of you. Labra, could you update us with the current scores?
Whoa, the scores. I almost forgot. Yes, we have scores for today, and we have great scores. Yeah, let me start with Marcus. Marcus, you got a coloring book, a score right now. I think it will help you a lot. Rusty, you have a microwave. I don't know why, but I have a microwave here on my leaderboard. Sean, for Sean, I have 2 tennis balls because
Yes.
I know you play basketball, and yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Pedro, for some reason, you got a whiskey today. I hope you like it.
Sweet.
Yellow, you got a
Yep.
clay,
The what?
you know, clay to play with clay, like kids
Like
with
Play-Doh.
Marcus.
Like Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. You
No,
want
no, no, not like
maybe
Play-Doh.
maybe I
Play.
give you this. You give me something better, Labra. What's this? You want this?
oh, Bitcoin, yeah. Next time.
Yeah, maybe you change it for play for something better.
Yeah.
You know, like we make like
What's wrong with
a
Play-Doh?
South a Latin European with a Latin something deal.
You
know,
can make a plate and put your Greek
make
salad
a
on it.
deal. We make a deal. You know,
Yeah,
something better. No,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
All right, who are we missing? Did everybody? We
We're
missed
missing,
Rusty?
we're missing, Becca.
Back
Yeah, a toaster, but not any toaster. It's a toaster turbo 3000.
Oh, specifically for the bathroom.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have a bath after this. Thank you. Labra.
No excuses for no sandwich now.
Yeah, please. Potato Greg, you have an invoice for 2 sats to pay me. My 2 sats. So I hope you like the score for you. And the best score for the night goes to Ben for joining us. And he's got the PAYNYM number. And let me just start reading this.
Somebody mute him.
1
This
5 9
question,
6
stop.
5
No.
3 5 8 9
Ben,
7
Stuck,
9
he's stuck.
Stop.
Someone help him.
Just
I want to hear the entire number, guys. Shut up. Let him finish.
There's no
Bad dog.
finishing. You
Don't
do
want
it.
Ready,
that. I
reboot
told
Labra.
that joke last time, and the guy
Update.
DM'd me all the number. Okay.
All right.
You don't know what you started now, Ben.
Yeah, there goes
You
the
really
Telegram
don't.
chat.
Ben, sometimes you don't want to make a video. What what do you revert to? Do you just say fuck it, I'm not doing it today, or do you make something else, or is there some ritual that you go through that like gets you psyched up to do a video?
You got to pump it up.
Yeah. Well, the Friday shows are never difficult. Like I get to hang out with people. I get to hang out with Bitcoiners. It's awesome. So that's never an issue. The tutorials, as long as it's something I'm stoked to do, like the cold card one, as long as it took the whole time, I was fucking jazzed to do it. Doing a node tutorial, doing lightning stuff, like all of that, I really enjoy because I'm also kind of learning as I do it because there's features that I find and I don't realize that are in there. When I run out of stuff, like from time to time, I've got a list literally on my desktop right now of stuff that I want to cover. But, sometimes when that list gets thin and I'm kind of pulling from the bottom of the barrel, then I'll kind of put it off, but I'll get something out that week. The news shows I find for me are the most onerous, oddly enough, because I'm like, I feel like I'm ODD when I'm pulling news stories. I'm like, oh, this, and there's all these things going on. And then I look at the list of shit that I got to read and I'm like, so I think I need to do some fine tuning with the Thursday show of like, okay, I'm going to cover the 3 main stories I want to cover. And then I'll have a segment on this and this. And I really like the way that Simply Bitcoin does it. Those guys are fucking awesome. Phil and Nico rock.
They're our sponsors.
They're your sponsors.
Oh yeah.
Our boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They are the boss.
Boss.
The fuck are they getting that money? I can't sponsor anybody.
Oh, you could
Yeah, you
sponsor us
could.
for that amount.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Oh, free. Okay, sweet. I do have money. I will gladly sponsor you guys.
Could for sure afford us.
I will say next show sponsored by BTC Sessions. Awesome. The news shows tend to be. I got to fine tune that a little bit because some days I'm like, am I going to do a news show? But I mean, the people that watch those ones seem to find them useful. So like, I'm not going to stop them, but at the same time, I'm like, every once in a while, ugh.
Well, if you're willing to give it a try, one of the things I've noticed with the news shows that really helps out and really helps drive home any news you're reading is a soundboard with those horns. Does.
I think that's a good idea. I think so.
What you got,
Probably a good idea. Is yellow, but
Yes, yellow.
Yes, yeah. Hey guys,
Oh, God.
Michael Dill here. I was recently in
Yellow Dell.
Yellow
I
Dell.
was in I was on Simple Bitcoin talking about Fedimint. And because I'm really bored now, kind of drunk, I would hope Ben explain what it is, if he knows, and if he has doubled, and if he feels bullish about it. What is Fedimint?
I don't know.
Great.
Isn't it just a layer of dirt?
I literally do not. This isn't the first time I've heard of it. Jeff Booth mentioned it the other day. I've heard it mentioned a few times. We were talking about privacy on Bitcoin, and he told me on a show I did with him the other day to start reading on it. And I literally have the bookmarked page sitting on my other screen here, waiting for me to parse through. So the answer to your question is I literally have no clue what it is other than it will help improve privacy on Bitcoin. And that's great.
Didn't Alex Gladstein talk about Fedimints?
He might have. I have no clue. I'm really offering nothing here, unfortunately.
I thought it was like it was like a way to do finance between countries, but you have to trust one person you'll like give money to someone in your country and then they'll transfer it to somebody else. I think like a lot of Muslims do it. And they transfer it to someone else in a different country, and then you have to trust that person will give the money.
You're murdering this, Sean.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just trying to help out.
Yeah.
No one, is that right or is that wrong, Pedro?
No, it's not right. It's like it's a lightning based setup where it's like a multi-sig and there's multiple people that hold the keys, and then like then you can just pick which group of people that you trust, and then you know it's like they have custody of the sats, but you have control of spending and receiving.
In what I saw in that episode, I understood that like it's like a liquid, like a customized liquid network on chain, and you can choose the federation that you're part. Like the plebs can like create and run their federation, right? And they have more privacy through that.
Wait, can you pick more than just the Federation? Can you do like the Klingons or the
yeah, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, like you can do Babylon 5 and stuff like that. Yeah,
maybe not Babylon 5.
Can I be?
Why not? Why are you hating on Babylon 5? It's the second time you do.
It's the Garibaldi and the hair. It's too much.
Yeah, but like the spiders, the bad guys basically want freedom for the, you know, it's like a good analogy. The bad and the evil. It's not actually.
I think all of the Bitcoin only shows should create our own Fedimints. Whatever title that's going to be the most contentious part of it is deciding the title of what it is, because it's not a federation, it's whatever we decide. But I feel like all the Bitcoin only shows need to come together, create their own Fedimint, and all have privacy amongst each other.
Amen.
Agreed. I feel bad for calling out Shine. I did a shitty job of explaining.
That's all right. There's nothing like being called an idiot in those dulcet tones, man.
Go watch that Simply Bitcoin episode. They can explain it there.
Yeah, I think I might have been saying like the history of Fedimints, not the Lightning version.
You guys are saying sediments, right?
Maybe I'm way off.
No, Fedimint. What you were saying, Sean, from today or yesterday is not allowed in the EU, so please don't repeat it. We don't allow it here. Okay, this is the new Canada.
This is the new Canada.
Welcome. We're happy to have you.
It's great.
We'll see you in the gulags.
Yeah.
All right. So my big question for Ben is one I've been wanting to ask you for a while. You live on a Bitcoin standard, and that's tough. What are the best tools? What are your favorite tools for doing that? And then what do you wish existed that doesn't now?
Okay, so a number of things. Luckily for me, with the way that, I mean, I run a YouTube channel. I have
What's the name of the channel?
I can't recall.
You guys have two YouTube channels, though. You have also the Wandering Parents, right?
Yeah.
Which I do watch also because I fucking love traveling.
Yeah, it's good.
Legit, my wife has a YouTube channel called The Wandering Perrins, and it's just all of our travel videos.
Nice.
It's literally like from our trip to Greece, where I actually met Yellow, and I shit you not, Yellow gave me a ride on his motorcycle after I did a meetup in Athens, which was on a rooftop overlooking the Acropolis. He gave me a ride back to my place on his motorcycle. It was very scary because he's very small and yellow. And so like I'm sitting on the back of the motorcycle and like people are like, there's a fucking puppet driving that goddamn motorcycle through Athens. People were shitting their pants, but he got me there and he did it very safely. And I appreciate it.
When you say people were shitting their pants, it was you, right?
Yes, I was shitting my pants as well. Yes. But you know what? He was very safe. He was very conscious of making sure that he observed all of the traffic laws.
He was gentle.
Yes,
I am still not sure that you were 100% like sure that was your place in Athens. Like like the face you had when you got off the bike, and I was like, Ben, are you sure it's like around here? And Ben was like, yeah. It's like 12 o'clock or something.
Like, let me off of this goddamn motorcycle.
Yeah, in a weird like country, and like
I was like, I think this is probably it. It's good enough. I don't know. I'm fucking walking now.
Yeah, and I was like starting to like put some gas in the bike and starting to leave, and I'm like looking at the guy and like, Ben, are you sure you're good? yeah.
Wait, you dropped him off at a gas station? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like
Dropped
the
him off and
setting
started
of the
filling
town,
up the
like
bike.
in the setting of Athens, like
Greg, you realize that
yeah.
there are gas stations that are close to where people stay.
Right, but
also, right?
all right. So the way the story goes, he drops Ben off and says, "Are you sure this is where you're staying?" And then proceeds to fill up his bike. Right? In this situation,
No,
they're both standing at a
I
gas
put
station.
on the gas, like I put the accelerator on. I was trying to leave.
Oh, okay.
Greg just cannot envision a world that isn't Florida.
Why would I?
It's a potato thing.
Sorry, I don't drive a truck, Greg.
So I don't drive a truck either. Fuck off. My wife
I don't
does.
know. I don't know how this segued into this, but I'll take it. I don't know.
So those tools you were talking about for living on a Bitcoin standard.
Yes, living on a Bitcoin standard. There we go. Athens, yellow bike, Bitcoin standard. Got it. All right. So yeah. There's a number of things. So I'm very lucky in running my channel that I can just like invoice people in Bitcoin. So that's a large part of it. The other thing I would say before even considering living on a Bitcoin standard is you have to be conscious of your monetary situation. You need to know how much you're making every month and what your bills are every month.
Different from if you're living on a fiat standard.
Yeah. Like if you're but this is the problem. People living on a fiat standard, they largely rely on debt, right? Like this is the fiat world where we're pushed into not realizing that we're spending more than we're earning. And that's kind of the norm. People, subsidize your over expenditures and living outside of your means with additional debt. And that's just how people live. And so you got to get that under control. You got to be spending less than you earn, because otherwise a Bitcoin standard doesn't work for you, because Bitcoin does not work that way. There's not going to be forever debt that is going to be available for you on a Bitcoin standard. Lending and things like that are going to be much more conscious of risk and potentialities of default on that risk and that lending. So first off, you got to get your affairs in order. Once you do that, once you know that you are regularly spending less than you're earning, and you can earn in Bitcoin, whatever method that may be. So for me, I'm able to just invoice and receive Bitcoin directly. There's things, there's services that allow you to convert your paycheck to Bitcoin, either in part or in full. But here in Canada, I use a number of things. So I use Bull Bitcoin because you can pay basically any bill with Bitcoin, whether that be sending to somebody's bank account, whether that be like your internet, your cell phone, your utilities, pretty much anything you can pay a bill with Bull Bitcoin. There's other services that do it. There's an Alberta-based service called the Bitcoin Well. They do the same thing, but more or less you can pay your bills with Bitcoin. Outside of that, groceries, gas, all that kind of stuff. BitRefill is super helpful. I use them all the time. There's a Canadian website called Coin Cards, and they're available not just in Canada, but also in the US. The Bitcoin Company is another great one because you can get gift cards, but you can also get Visa, like prepaid Visa cards, all that kind of stuff. And there's another one I just got called, I think like Coin Debit or something like that. But basically you can get physical cards and you can refill them repeatedly with Bitcoin. So I haven't used it yet, but it's super useful in terms of being able to day-to-day in brick and mortar places spend. And a lot of these instances, you can also add these cards to things like Google Pay or Apple Pay. So a lot of options out there in terms of that. Those are kind of my main things that I utilize. Maybe I'm missing a few things, but I did make a video on all of the off ramps and everything that I utilize to live on Bitcoin. So yeah.
And what do you wish existed that doesn't today?
I mean, being able to just directly spend, right? Like all of these solutions that I'm talking about are stopgap measures, are like gap bridging measures that allow you to, in the interim, when Bitcoin and sats are not the standard for the majority of people, they allow you to still live on a Bitcoin standard without the rest of the world having to do it. And that's what these companies are offering. However, I think most of these companies will find, and in talking with people like Francis at Bull Bitcoin, like the end goal is for these companies to be obsolete. And if you're a person running one of these companies, you run one of these companies, you help Bitcoiners in the interim, but the core of your offering eventually, like if you succeed in offering what you mean to offer, your main offerings right now become obsolete and your business model becomes obsolete if you succeed, because enough people move to a Bitcoin standard. And maybe you'll have other things to offer in the future, and maybe you'll kind of get a better pulse on what Bitcoiners need moving forward. But in the interim, all of these services that are being offered are just to help those that want to live on a Bitcoin standard that currently can't with legacy infrastructure.
So that means you wish what stuff was available?
Well, that I could go and buy my groceries and use Bitcoin.
Just spend
I
it.
could, yeah, like so like Strike example, right? Like them.
Great example.
Yeah, I don't know where I came up with that when I was
looking
at you, but
when Europe.
Yeah,
Never.
When Canada.
Yeah, I do have limited access in Canada.
Everything is fine.
My favorite was getting the DM and being like, "Hey, you totally fucked our back end using Strike outside of the US. We will never do this again, but just be quiet about it."
Mm-hmm. All right, Becky, you had a question?
Yeah, I did. Labra has a question, and he wanted to know, why are you bullish?
What?
Dude, I'm bullish all the time. I get to make videos on everything that's being built, and the bull markets are way better for all the shit that's being built the bear markets are way better than the bull markets in terms of people getting their heads down and actually building shit. And so this is why I'm always so excited when we are sitting where we are right now. Like what? Sub 20K, and people are freaking out, and all the mainstream coverage is, oh, Bitcoin's dead again. Oh, I heard it a million times before.
The model is broken,
and then I'm getting these, and I'm seeing all of these privacy tools being built, and I'm seeing all of this infrastructure being built, and I get to literally make how-tos for people to use it. And the rest of the world thinks that everything is cratering and there's no use case. It's hilarious. That's why I'm bullish. Always.
Good question, Labra, Becca.
Great.
Yeah, great question,
Labra,
Becca.
does that satisfy you? It's good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Great question,
Yeah.
Becca.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Marcos, excuse me, the model is not broken. Actually, I adjusted. I drop a little. The one line I drop it a little bit.
No. I'm talking about that other model. Remember, you were always saying that the monthly never closed below the 200 weekly moving MA. Well, we just did. The month just closed.
Nah. The month in what planet?
In which universe?
In what planet, Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus.
Exactly. Checkmate.
This one.
This one.
Oh, the one we're on, Yellow.
All right, so who's taking care of the RD question tonight? Who'd we land on?
I sent the files to Marcus. So
Just the
he
files
should
from
have
Marcus.
them.
All right, Marcus.
On getting Ben to do it himself.
Marcus, you've been nominated.
Been nominated. I've been briefed. Ben, good evening.
Good
As you know, the meme factory, if the meme factory existed, which we all know it doesn't, who of the meme factory would you like? Who would you retweet? And who would you mute?
Like, retweet, and mute. Oh shit.
Tough one.
What's better, like or retweet?
Just know that there will be consequences.
Severe consequences.
Okay, so I interpret like as a like wink, nod, kind of like, hey, I like you, but I'm not going to share your stuff. I'm more so just being like, be my friend. Retweet is like valuable information that I'd like to share with other people, and mute is there's just an insufferable amount of noise. Okay, so obviously I mute Greg right off the bat.
The most muted member of the Meme Factory.
By far.
Retweet. I mean, there's solid signal in everything Yellow says and does. Obviously, immediate retweet. And then, I mean, I'm gonna like Becca everything that she says. So, you know, there you go.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
Now, you've been very generous with your time. We're coming close to the end of our hour, so I want to make sure you had a moment. If you have any questions for the Meme Factory people while we're here, have at it.
Okay.
That was
okay,
great,
I'm gonna.
Ben. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I do have. Okay, so maybe this will be a group effort. What would you say were your top 3 Twitter accounts that created the most meme fodder for you guys?
Ooh.
Fodder. Can you translate for the Europeans?
Oh yeah. So the top accounts where you saw them do dumb shit and you were like, oh man, I've got content for days.
Breed
so
love.
that's yeah. Sorry, what? Oh, okay, yeah.
Breed love.
What about Raoul Pal or Hanky?
Oh yeah.
Christine
Copeland.
Lagarde,
For me.
Oh yeah, Christine.
Yeah.
Janet, little granny. Oh.
The
And
Who
it's a
else we
different-
got?
the pizza
Christina
lady.
Friedland.
I'm just trying to think of
Pizza
this
lady,
Pizza lady.
consistently
Yeah.
bad
Jerome
takes.
Powell has the whatever money printer go burr.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Whoever-
that's
Augustus.
Whoever the pizza
Who's
lady
Augustus?
is, I think
Augustus
that
Clump.
one's
Hey,
The biz fat guy.
Augustus
oh
Carstens.
right, giant BIS dude.
Carstens.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
inflation, pretty much.
Mhm.
World
Marcus
champion eater.
Number 5.
Okay, so my favorite recent meme is the stated inflation and then real inflation with Jerome Powell and Augustus in the like
Yes.
the same outfit. Oh, so good.
So good.
Chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
All right,
Yeah.
did that answer your question in any meaningful way?
No, that's okay.
Did
though.
all of us talking all over each other help out?
Richard Hart has put out some stuff. I mean,
Good. I hope you learned something.
You can, you
I,
can
I've the knowledge has been, through osmosis, it's come into my body now. So
All right,
Yeah,
and
so,
We're
sorry
glad to
about
give back.
David
Yes.
Attenborough.
and Sean, do your thing.
All right, we got the Meme Factory having party coming up, Ben. It's coming up in 2024. Block height. Do you know the block height?
it's a round number.
840,000.
Oh, come on.
Block height 840,000 is
Right,
the
because
halving.
210,000 per cycle.
Times 4. You're good. It took me a
You
second.
knew.
Yeah, you knew it. It's gonna be in El Salvador. It's gonna be in person. It's gonna be with all the Bitcoiners that you want to be with. So we're inviting you to come down, hang out, bring your family, wandering parents. Bring that too.
Yeah.
Wandering parents.
And I can't remember if that was the name of the show or not. My bad. And it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be an absolute blast down there. So we're excited.
Fuck, that sounds. I'm looking for an excuse to go to El Salvador at a time that makes sense.
That's the time that
And-
makes sense. Don't go before then. Go during the party. That's the time that makes sense. You might get bored of El Salvador, but you
Yeah,
won't.
don't be like Greg.
Yeah, don't be like Greg.
When is hold on? When is the estimated time? Okay, hold on.
So we're working with Boomer BTC.
Yep. Working
He
with
has a
Bob
model.
Burnett.
He has
March,
a model
April.
right now. And I
Okay.
think currently his model is saying
2024.
April, right? That's the last that I saw.
You know, I was supposed to get the
2024.
info from him last night, and I didn't. I'll have to follow up with him.
He said
That
March
would be-
26th His latest
It's
model
like
was
between March
26th.
and July right
Yep,
now.
Rusty
Yeah.
had it. March 26th was his model.
March 26th. My birthday is March 27th. If that happens, that would be
Whoa.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We'll be celebrating the halving
yeah.
plus Ben's birthday.
Plus,
I don't know which is going to have more impact.
Yeah.
Ben's birthday.
Adam Back wanted 100K on the same time as well. 100K party, Ben's birthday, halving party. And we're no longer sub 20K anymore, by the way. We're
saw
above
that.
20K.
Just started.
Boom.
Nice.
Never under 20K again.
All right. Ben, why don't you take some time, tell anybody who's still actually watching where they can find your content, any interesting projects you might be working on. This is your chance, man.
Hold on, before Ben does that, can I just say something?
You just said something before Ben did.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
We have a meme factories dozen watching. I think we should make that a term. I just thought about that right now.
What?
What? I don't get it.
Like a baker's dozen.
Like a baker's dozen, but however
a
many
dozen.
are watching. We
Yeah,
got a
that
meme
was
factories dozen
that was
watching.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Good one, Sean. Good
All
one.
right. That joke's now on the bin.
Okay, where you can find me, Twitter at BTC Sessions, YouTube, just search BTC Sessions. There's a ton of free content there.
It's like a meme factory dozen of videos.
Yes, that's a number that is probably represented on that YouTube channel. And then I do have a website, btcsessions.ca. And outside of that, if you're in Vancouver coming up, I'm going to be in Vancouver on July 16th doing a deep dive on the cold card. So if you want to come to that, shoot me a message. I might be able to sneak you in, but ticket sales have stopped. But yeah, maybe we can get you in there.
Oh,
It's
there's
sold
oh,
out.
it's full.
I couldn't even go to a conference about this. That's great.
All right, so you can find all that stuff in the show notes down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ben, thank you very much for your time. Everybody,
Thanks
thank
for
you
your time,
for coming
Ben.
in.
Thanks,
Have a great
guys.
night.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ben.
guys.
Thanks,
Take
Ben.
care. Bye.
Stay regarded.
Greg, you're muted.
Greg,
Highly regarded.
put your finger up, Greg.